It's that time of year again where I'm getting ready to go on the Newfoundland ATV trip. And what I'm doing here is looking at all the items and get them all laid out that I'm going to be taking on the trip this year. This is August 5th, 2014, and there's 4 people going on the trip this year. Pardon me. And so the items that I have laid out here are going to be split between 2 people, and they're going to be put in those 2 cargo boxes right there with the camouflage bags. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going through my list here that I've used from previous years, and I've checked off most things except for food, medication, things like that, and a bit of clothing. But anyhow, so these are the types of things that I take on the Newfoundland trip. You don't have to take them, but it might give you an idea of what or some of the types of things you might like to bring with you. And so, I mean, here you can see we've got lights, got a couple of those headlamps. Bought 3 of those for about $10 at Costco. They're pretty cheap. They work pretty well. Just make sure if you take those that you bring some extra AAA batteries with you. And this is a bigger flashlight. It's a 500 lumen one. It's very bright. Works very well. Got 2 of those as well at Costco for about 25 bucks. They take 3 D cells. And if you're out camping, which is what I'm going to be doing this year, super bright, and they have a very long distance on them. Also bringing a lantern. Now this is a Coleman battery operated LED lantern. A lot of you might be familiar with Coleman's propane lanterns. I'm also taking one of those, which are great. They throw off heat in case it gets cool at night, and you don't have to worry about your batteries dying. And this works very well, these LED lights. It has a 360 degree light beam that goes around, and if you want, each one of these pieces here comes off, and you can have 4 separate mini flashlights if you need them. So bring some light with you if you're going to be camping. Some of the other things that you might need, I've got a couple of glow sticks here, the ones that you just kind of snap and they light for several hours. Got some hand sanitizer. I've got some fire sticks in here. These are good for helping you start some campfires. They're kind of like mashed up wood chips or something like that, and they're held together with a bit of oil, and they light pretty well. Bring yourself a barbecue lighter. We also have duct tape and trail tape. Trail tape is great, especially on this type of trip that we're going on. So if you happen to come into any washouts, anything like that, it's nice for common courtesy to mark them, just so that other riders will see them as they come along, and not have to worry about it coming into any accidents or anything like that. I have a couple of cans of bug spray, and I've got some silicone spray, which is waterproofing spray, basically, which I'm going to spray on our tent. This stuff works very, very well. I've used it before. Sprayed on a nylon tent, let it dry for about a day, and the water, if it rains, will beat off your tent like water on a wax car. It works really well. In case you have any problem with your tires, sometimes those things happen. This is an air compressor that I'm bringing with me, and this is a tire patch kit with a few plugs in it. Now I've got a hunting knife here, and you want a good sturdy knife if you're going to be going out into the bush doing things like that. So this one's got a good solid steel blade on it. You can use to split wood, sharpen some wood, clean some fish, whatever you want to do with it. Got a little personal survival kit, first aid kit. I've also got a bigger first aid kit here, which has a lot of stuff. It was great. I got that for like $10 at Costco. Now there's also a couple of little gas stoves that we have that we're going to bring. These little top pieces unscrew off the top there, and the gas canister is separate. You can buy these, I think, at Canadian Tire, and I've seen them at Mountain Equipment Co-op, but they're kind of pricey. I've seen them anywhere from $50 to $90. Now, I got these on Amazon for about $10. They work very well. Once you attach them to the canister, they just screw on. Just turn your valve to let the gas flow. And then it has a click lighter here. And you can adjust your flame as you see fit. And turn the gas off. Now this little pot that I bought here at Mountain Equipment Co-op, it's a Primus pot. Holds enough water for a couple of coffees. So it'll fit right on here and it'll boil up that pot in a few minutes. And at the top of it also turns into a pan. They're coated with a non-stick spray, so if you want to cook something in them too, they're great for that. Got an extra little set, a cooking set here that turns into a pot and a pan, and they will also fit nicely on this Coleman, or not Coleman stove, but this little butane stove. Now I'm also bringing this butane stove. You can buy these pretty much anywhere. Canadian Tire. You can buy them at, let me see, where did I get this one? I forget now. Princess Auto for about $19 or $20. The butane gets stored in here. It has its own lighter. Just turn it on. You have a nice little flame. And that's it. Turn the knob again to turn it off. It all closes up inside this carrying case. And I got a non-stick pan. Canadian Tire the other day for $10. Normally like $35. It's a nice non-stick Tefal pan. You know, this is just a mirror that goes on the back of your hand. So when you're driving your ATV, if you don't have mirrors on your handlebars and you just want to keep an eye on the other people in your group, just flick your wrist up and you can take a look through the mirror. Now I'm also bringing some extra butane bottles for the stove here. And I'm going to be taking some propane too for my little barbecue that's over here, little hibachi style barbecue. It's been around for a number of years, as you can tell probably from the look of it, but it still works great. Now I'm going to bring a 6-person tent, which is in this bag here. I'm also going to bring a 2-person tent. In case we need it, we might not need it to store our gear in if it happens to rain. I've got a little self-inflating pillow that I got from Mountain Equipment Co-op. I think it was for about $17. Sleeping bag. I'm going to bring a second sleeping bag as well. A couple tarps in the back to put on the ground and over top of the tent in case it rains. And a couple of soft coolers to put ice, water, some meats, things like that we can cook on the trail. Now everything that you see here on the machines and this actual kitchen here, this fold-up kitchen itself, this thing folds up and fits into the top into a little suitcase type of thing. It's going to fit into these 2 cargo boxes that I've made. They are basically cargo rack bags. They're very tough nylon, rubberish type material, and they zip closed. They have thick zippers, and what I've done is I put thin plywood inside, screwed it and nailed it together to keep the shape of the bag when you're packing and unpacking things, so you don't have to constantly keep shifting the bag around. And all of this stuff fits in these 2 boxes, no problem. There's actually room for more items. This orange Mountain Equipment Co-op bag is a canoe bag, I guess they call them, and it's 30-liter bag. Works great for clothes. I'm going to just put all my change of clothes and things in here. You just roll the top tight, fold it over, and everything stays nice and dry. It'll go in there, and there'll still be room for a few leftover things like extra boots, things like that. Now on the bike itself, this bike happens to be a Polaris Sportsman, so there is some storage space on here. On the back, there's a little storage area, so that's where I'm going to put the air pump that I have for the tires, in case we end up having a problem with any of those. And on the front, I've got this rack that holds 2 gas cans inside, and there's room for a little bit of other things in here. I've got like a tow rope, a mesh bug coat in case the bugs happen to get bad. And then in the front rack, it folds up. And I've got some necessities like toilet paper, batteries for those flashlights. my insurance and registration, things like that, in case I get asked for it on the trail, and a couple of ponchos in case it does happen to pour and we get rained on. Now on the bag here, or sorry, on the gas tank, I've got a tank bag that I keep a couple things in when I'm traveling with throughout the day on the trail. One of them is my cell phone. If I need to charge it, I just use this 12-volt charger over here. It's got a split end on it. It's got a USB enabled plug on it, so I can just put my USB plug in it, drop it in the tank bag, zip it up so it keeps the dust out, and I can charge my cell phone. You know, and you can charge an MP3 player if you're bringing a GoPro camera with you, like I'll be doing. You know, if the batteries are dying, you can charge it up as you're driving and so forth. So a couple of other things that I've got on the back rack here, just a few extra pairs of gloves in case it rains, some Ziploc bags for little things you might want to keep dry, a map of the trail, and that's pretty much it.